the more blood work I get from a client, the better, because every blood marker is a piece of the puzzle. So we get a bigger picture with more information. I can use blood work that's already been done. A lot of times people will be like, well, it's 5 years old. And I'll say, well, do you feel better than you did 5 years ago? Have you made any big changes? And the majority of the time it's, well, no, I haven't. I just still feel okay. That'll do.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't made any changes and you don't feel better, then I can find what's going on and you don't have to spend money on new blood tests. But unfortunately, what I see very often is doctors just don't order blood tests. They might order a CBC, but without the differential. And the differential is like a pot of gold. You don't want to miss that. So, so I look at the CBC with differential, your thyroid panel, lipid panel, metabolic panel, and iron. And within all of those, we can find low-grade chronic infections. We can find leaky gut. We can find autoimmune markers. We can find sometimes even more specific. For example, in your CBC with differential, there are one of the types of white blood cell is monocytes. Well, if the monocytes are up at 12% or above, that typically in the past has represented that if you went in, you would hit a positive Epstein-Barr virus test. So if you're totally exhausted and you look at your CBC with differential and you see your monocytes are that high, okay, you probably have mono, the kissing disease. It's more prevalent in our country than people, they think, oh, I've never tested positive for mono, so I've never had it. The majority of people have it just kind of hanging around and then it's a flare up. So if you have that high level of exhaustion. So that's just one of many things that we can find. One of my favorite to find for people though, is people that come to me with thyroid issues and they're like, oh, I have hypothyroidism. My thyroid's so bad. I'm like, you stop hating on the thyroid. The poor thyroid most of the time is a completely functional piece of our body, but something else, whether it's the, pituitary or, going up the river,
Right.
there's something else that's not feeding it what it needs to do its job, or it's doing its job perfectly. It's putting out the T4, but the T4 isn't getting converted to T3.
Yeah.
That conversion happens in the liver and the gut. So if you're eating crappy, then your gut and liver is not going to be able to get the job done of doing that conversion, which you need that for energy.
Yeah.